Warning, this commentary has spoilers.
Does anyone have a cough drop?
Hey guys, Steveocubed here, and I wanted to talk today about Maleficent. Maleficent was one of those movies that could have been great, but didn't quite attain that. In this video here, I'm going to talk about those things that really pissed me off about the movie, but in this video, I want to talk about what makes it great. Here are the top 11 reasons why I like this movie, / love, / have a crush on it. Why top 11, you may ask? Because I wrote 10, and then I thought of one more.
Number 11.
So one of the cool things that we got to see in this movie that we didn't get to see in Sleeping Beauty is getting to see Maleficent grow up. So that interaction between her and Stefan was just awesome. Getting to see how she could fall for a human being and how he may fall for her. I don't know if he ever actually loved her. Beautiful moment where they're coming together. It was almost artsy, like with the dawn in the background, and they're coming together, and he's waiting for her. That whole arc was done extremely well.
Number 10.
Number 10 on this list is the girl power aspect of the movie. So anyone who sees this movie already senses probably that like this movie was totally about girl power, the whole like mother-daughter, surrogate mother-daughter relationship, the fact that the women in this movie kick ass and the guys kind of suck. And as you can see, I'm a male, but I still feel like I really enjoy this message because there are not enough movies that really support women and girls in becoming stronger, not because of like some man helping them become stronger, but they become stronger on their own. And there are not enough movies that support girls and being awesome as their kick-ass selves. Go Maleficent, kick your femininely ass.
Number 9.
Number 9 was the totally cool CGI. I especially really like the thorns, the way they came up and they're like, Gah! I thought the tree thorn creatures, those were kind of creepy looking, but that cool, badass creepy looking. You know, if I was in that world, I'd be like, yeah, that guy's with me. Word to your tree mother.
Number 8.
Number 8 is the relationship between Aurora and Maleficent. This was actually one of the things that I'm most worried about when going into the movie. I'm like, am I gonna really buy Maleficent being like this, like, totally, like, evil person, and then all of a sudden that she's being the good character of this movie and is able to show mercy, and not only mercy but love for Aurora, and I totally bought it. So that transition, she hated Aurora not because Aurora was Aurora, but she was a symbol of what Maleficent lost. So you totally ruined what I had with Stefan, this love that was supposed to be mine. After that, the fact that she was able to grow to love Aurora for who she was, you know, calling her little beastie. You know, I used to do that all the time with my dog, you know, I'd be like, oh, you big mutt master dog, I hate you forever, and stroke it creepily. Maleficent did the same thing with Aurora. She showed her love in a way that, you know, was like, I hate you, but I really love you sort of thing, and that really grew to a real relationship. And when that relationship came to a head with Aurora confronting Maleficent saying, are you Maleficent? And Maleficent, I really like that she just came out and said, yes, I am. She loved her enough to be like, straight up, just be like, this is what I did. And that moment when Maleficent tried to break that curse from Aurora by being in that bed and being like, I relinquish everything, you know, I take back my curse, that was one of the most powerful moments in the movie, and it was just a really powerful scene because of the relationship that I bought. And I can't return it.
Number 7.
Number 7 is the flying scenes. They're just totally cool. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, why are you watching this video? It's cool.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Davon. I actually thought he was going to be one of those things that I hated, but he actually grew to be one of those things that I really liked. He was just like a stupid crow. I was like, oh, stupid crow. And then becomes this like cool character for Maleficent to bounce off of. So it showed more of her humanity by being able to talk to him. It led us more into her own thought process, and it also let him be sort of her conscience when she was developing that relationship with Aurora. Not only that, but seeing the cool transformations, I loved when Maleficent would turn Davon into like different creatures. Like every single time they did, I liked how it was still like a bird, so it's like a wolf, raven almost, and like they had the classic dragon but with the raven look, with a horse with the raven look. All of that was just totally badass looking, so that was really cool. Kudos to the art design on there. Kudos, art designers. You know, and more kudos to go around, because the actor who played Davon, he was extremely likable. He just made the role super fun. So, good job, actor guy. I don't know your name, but here's to you.
Number 5.
King Stefan, who is my number 5 pick for being awesome. The actor was in District 9 and also Elysium. Clearly he has the acting chops for a sci-fi fantasy type role. He was excellent in this movie because his fall from grace, you start off with someone who's just a ruthless person who wants to get by, and going from there to that slow madness where he just becomes obsessed with Maleficent and becomes obsessed with spinning wheels and becomes a recluse. Like, that whole character journey was just excellently portrayed by him. So he really was the yin to Maleficent's yang. If you really think about the movie, I know Sleeping Beauty's in the movie and she's a big part of the movie, but she's not a big character in the movie. If you think about the two real big heavyweights in the movie, there's actually King Stefan and Maleficent. And Maleficent was such a powerful role in this movie that if you didn't have a strong King Stefan, it wouldn't have held up. But both Angelina Jolie and District 9 guy, they totally held up both ends of their bargain. So that's why the movie really worked on that level. Kamehameha!
Number 4.
Number 4. The green fire is totally cool. I mean, whenever I see the green fire in the movie, it reminds me of my childhood Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent being like okay, she didn't laugh like that. They got the fire in this movie just right. So it could have looked really ghetto and really stupid, but the tone of the fire, just the way it looked, the way Angelina Jolie sold it, each scene that I saw, I'm like, yeah, green fire! I know it's not a character in the movie, and I know I shouldn't put it so high, especially considering like how many awesome performances there are, and like all these other things that I said were awesome. But each time I saw the green fire, I was like, you go green fire, you work it, girl! Long story short, green fire rules.
Number 3.
Speaking of fire, number 3 is the final fight scene. That scene with all the fire and the iron being surrounded by that and having like the wavy effects to make it look like it was even hotter. Like, I was getting hot in the theater watching that. That was really cool. And then having Davon turn into that dragon, that is so iconic, you know, that dragon image, and having it look almost like that raven. I thought he looked totally awesome. And then Angelina Jolie, when she actually got her wings back and she had that leather biker outfit and she had those wings in all her glory. Totally hot, which is probably not something I should say since my girlfriend is videotaping this, but I will, and she will yell at me later. She's saying no. So Angelina Jolie totally looked awesome there, and then that scene where she like plunges right through the window with Stefan and like she's spinning out and the glass is spinning everywhere, that looked really cool. So it was just a really fun action scene. If you want to have a really good fantasy or sci-fi movie, you need to have your final battle scene just really come to a head, and Maleficent really nailed it right there.
Number 2.
So number 2 is, I'm gonna cheat, but I'm gonna smush 2 scenes together for number 2. Number 2 is the rape scene, quote unquote rape scene, where Stefan takes Maleficent's wings from her, and also how they handled True Love's kiss. The reason why I put them both together is they both remind me of how Maleficent handled emotional weight in this movie. So first let's talk about the wing scene where Maleficent loses her wings. When Stefan takes her wings, that moment when she wakes up and she's screaming and crying, and Angelina Jolie, when she plays her, has that look on her face, it's like pure pain, and like it's not the physical pain, you see it, the emotional pain. That totally was just amazing acting, and it just drew me into the emotional content of what sort of loss she was dealing with. And then also the scene where they're giving the True Love's kiss, how they handled that. I love that they made the True Love about the surrogate mother-daughter relationship. I know some people really hated it, but I really liked it because it lets you know, first of all, that love comes, in so many different ways, and that love between a mother and daughter is so powerful, but it also, makes a social commentary on, hey, love can really exist, but it's not necessarily going to be love at first sight. You need to really let it develop. So it was kind of like touching on both, while also circling back to Maleficent's belief in, hey, true love doesn't exist, but then you could see when she's actually watching Prince Philip about to kiss Aurora, she's like, oh, maybe true love does exist. So there's hope for even people who discard love at first. All that emotional weight in this movie was handled really well.
Number 1.
Number 1, if you didn't guess it by now, you probably know by me raving about it, Angelina Jolie.
Well, well.
She was perfect as Maleficent. She just looks like Maleficent. I want to call Maleficent Jaleficent. That's how closely they look together. This is totally random, but this is really interesting, like how edgy her cheekbones were. I like that they kind of went with that artistic sort of look. Angelina Jolie, I already talked about a lot of the great things she did with the wings, when she lost her wings, how much she, showed the pain with it, the action scenes that she did, the way that she was able to show the relationship growing between her and Aurora in a believable way. All those things were really excellently done. One of my favorite scenes was when she's cursing the baby, Aurora, and she comes into the place and she starts like looking like upset, and then she all of a sudden like laughs. Classic. As you probably would have guessed, Angelina Jolie is my number 1, but there's so many great aspects of this movie. Do you agree with my list?
How wonderful.
Let me know in the comments below. And if you thought this video was cool, hit the like button, or the subscribe button, or both.